Well, good evening, America. I'm Al Ferguson, and you are tuning into It's Happening Out. We are the world's most popular live gay television show, and it's 8 p.m. Wednesday, August 19th, 2020. As I said, I'm your host and moderator, Al Ferguson. And welcome, America. We're going to have lots of fun because it's going to be an entertaining show, and we thank you for joining us. And tonight, of course, the old gang, and by old, I mean old. And that's Chef Josie. Good evening, Chef Josie.
Hey, hey.
Wait, I've got to call attention. I was wearing it too. This lovely mask for mayor of the gayest place on planet Earth.
Mine's in the car.
Yeah.
And don't forget the really great little the great little tab for the straw.
Yes. You can tell we're in the gayest place on planet Earth because we can insert the straw to drink. And joining
mine is in the mail.
Yeah.
Yes.
See?
Send me the address. I got you.
But that's what I said. So where's mine?
Right?
She said it's
and
in
of
the
course, Power Infinity. Good evening, Power. How are you?
Hey, child.
You've had a good week?
I'm on a cutesy week. It's been moist.
There's been nothing going on with Senate Intelligence Committees or Roger Stones or Russian collusion or Democratic National Conventions.
It's been a very slow week.
Yeah, very slow week. Very slow week. We'll get into that. And Misty Eyes. Good evening, Misty.
Hi.
And aren't your lips pretty? Wait, are you? All right. Now, are you going to take your lips mask off now?
Right, exactly.
You had a good week?
Kisses for everyone. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, all right. And in our upper right now, we're a live show, unedited, and we're having some technology issues here. And so that black square with the big happening out icon is Aaron Phoenix.
You got confused with the word black.
Aaron. Aaron, you've never sounded so smart.
Oh,
wow.
Lord.
Anybody want to jump in here?
Quick save.
It's so much fun to watch you, flopping around in the...
Aaron, is it true that you really don't think the trans community is that important?
That is not fair. Aaron was here moments ago, right before we went live, and of course it rains in Florida, and sometimes there's thunder and lightning, and who knows?
And there's a breeze. We have a breeze in Fort Lauderdale, and the internet goes out. So,
Aaron, they told Aaron to get out and come back in, and they fucked it up, and now Aaron can't get back in.
That's called oppression. Oppression. The privileged white guy does it again. Yay! Right. All right. Well, if we're able to get Aaron in, Aaron will get you back. I hope you're watching. You're going to enjoy the show, and I'm not sure we're going to miss you at all, but we'll see.
I will. I'll miss you.
Right
I'll
now,
miss you.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
But a little birdie heard that maybe someday soon, Aaron and Power might be coming down for a live episode.
Shall we? No, let's not tell that yet. We'll tell that another evening when Aaron's present. So good evening again, America. You are watching the world's most popular live gay TV show. So many of your stories we're going to talk about tonight on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out.
Diana, a true musical story, counts on the believability of the lead character.
Our new game, Saved by the Bell. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Misty Eyes. With your host, reality TV star, Chef Josie. Trans activist, Aaron Phoenix. DJ Diva, Power Infinity. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, we are live and unedited. This is an unedited, well, I'd like to talk, unedited
Let's
talk
delete that.
show.
We'll cut that right out.
Power, I watched that read on your face. As you can tell, this is going to be unedited. Whatever happens, happens, and anything can happen, and it often does. As we told you, this is the world's most popular live gay TV show. We're getting ready next month to celebrate our 2 years. We started September 20th. 2018, and it's very exciting because it only feels like about 9. How about you, Power? You were one of the original guys on the show. It feels like about 9 years, doesn't it?
I don't know. It feels like just yesterday. Time flies when you're having fun, so it doesn't feel like.
I want to switch places. You come down here next week. I'm going back up to your house at Lakeland and have your lovely husband host me for a few days. America, this has become the most popular live gay TV show in the world because you like it and you share it in YouTube. You like us on Facebook. We encourage you to start a watch party, and you do that if you can, but otherwise just put us on your page or engage with us. We want to begin tonight by talking about the OUTshine Film Festival. One of the biggest film festivals for the LGBTQ community in the world is getting ready to start tomorrow. We are partnering with the OUTshine Film Festival, and the entire network is doing it, including It's Happening Out, and we are a proud partner of the OUTshine Film Festival, which will run from August 20th to August 30th with the opening night drive out of Stage Mother, a brilliant comedy to get the festival started out right. Tickets are on sale now at OUTshineFilm.com. Very unique in an LGBTQ film festival, always important to support. And all of the platforms of Happening Out Television Network will be reporting more interesting news over the next 10 days of what's going on in one of the most important LGBTQ film festivals in the world. Here's just a short video to tell you what the festival is all about. Watch this. Well, we're excited to participate and help promote the OUTshine Film Festival. It's very important to us because first, 501c3s are really critically under attack in COVID-19.
Truth.
It is not easy to raise money for non-for-profit or not-for-profit organizations like our LGBTQ film festivals. Also, film festivals in the LGBT community take a unique hit on the chin because of social isolation. So how do you have film when you can't gather? Well, you create a whole new way to participate in a film festival. Tomorrow night, on Thursday, they have a drive out with Stage Mother, and it's the premiere for Stage Mother, a very interesting film at a drive-in theater, and it's a clever way. And then there's more than 40 films that are going to appear this week and next week, and we encourage you to go to the website and look at all of the films. You can participate all over Florida, really everywhere, and take some moments to look at the website and support the film festival. Guys, are you excited about a film festival? Still relevant or in great need?
Oh yeah, and I think the drive out is a great concept. I mean, I remember growing up going to drive-in movies, and the fact that we don't have those around and that they're almost obsolete is very sad, because that was like a highlight of watching movies, was going to the drive-in.
Exactly. You know, Power made some comments of having 2 films being involved in the OUTshine Film Festival before, and I got a lot of my friends connected with the film festival that came back to me and said, What does Power mean that both times that he was in the film festival, he was working gigs other places and he didn't come to the film festival? Any retractions that you want to make there, or any comments about your observations before?
No, it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, I missed one flight, and I was somewhere else when my documentary premiered. So unfortunately, I've never been able to be at an actual film that I was in.
Yeah.
I was going to defend her and say, she went where the money was, honey.
Yeah.
You get paid, you show up.
Well, it's very funny. After tonight, Power's situation of missing the film festival when he was in it, in that documentary, is now and forever been called pulling the Aaron Phoenix. And that's your no-show is. Well, anyway, we're all.
Gets in here.
If you have to explain the joke,
Come on, bring him on. All right. Well, we completely support the OUTshine Film Festival, getting ready to start August 20th to 30, and look at their details at OUTshineFilm.com. All right, let's have some fun tonight. Let's begin. As we always begin, It's Happening Out with the meme of the week. I have not seen it, so I can't tell you what the meme of the week is, and we're going to look at it now. It is called When Karma is Instant. Watch this.
Steve, we don't have shots.
All right. When
I remember when that story went viral. She went to her ex-boyfriend's car and lit that bitch on fire, and that car said, "Hello." Back to you.
Yeah.
When waiting to exhale goes wrong.
Exactly.
Guess
right.
what state that was in?
Exactly right. All right. Well, let's move out of the meme of the week, and this is really going to be funny to Misty and Josie and I are here in a new set. We're going to tell you about it in a minute. And we're having a number of technical implementation because this is the
Birthing
first
pains.
times. Yeah. We're crowning as we speak. Can we
Yeah.
do that? We're crowning as we speak.
Contractions.
Power is in Lakeland, and Aaron Phoenix is in the dark abyss of the black hole. We don't
Yeah.
know where Aaron is at this moment. So we're going to play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That. Our hosts are going to be asked 4 questions, and if they agree, they're going to take a shot, and if they disagree, they don't take the shot. Now, here's what's really funny about us being in this brand new set. We are going to reveal that we are coming from the Sunshine Cathedral, the largest queer church in the world. We have an incredible new set here. Church. And we haven't completely worked out the details on the alcoholic shots yet. So tonight, Josie and Misty and I are going to symbolically raise our shot and do our shot this way.
Don't have no communion water. Don't have no
Girl, I've gotten drunk in this very room before, so it's allowed. It just didn't happen.
Well,
maybe there are ghosts here and they're all showing up at the same time. Did you see her? I mean, this is like live.
So Power, we're gonna live through
Power
you
has to
as
drink
we
for all of
play.
us.
This is the first time in 2 years that we've done it this way. But as I said, the baby is crowning. You gotta play along with us, and
I'll take some for the team.
Yes, exactly. And can I make the joke that we are pretty much just like the little Zoom shows that we watch all over America? Finally, It's Happening Out can claim, yeah, sometimes we're in that same class. All right.
We're doing our best to get to be just like everyone else.
Yes. All right. So let's play I'd Swallow That, and we'll do it symbolically tonight. Question number 1. I'd swallow that, or I will ghostly shot. AMC theaters. This is great news. AMC theaters will be reopening tomorrow, and I am excited to go to the theater again.
The house.
Power's going to be rubbing this in my face. You watch where this is going to go. Somebody tell me about AMC movie theaters, going back to the movie. Anybody scared, first off?
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I do have my reservations because if you've ever been to the movie theaters here in South Florida, not everyone has the same level of commitment to sanitation. And a matter of fact, there's a bunch of young kids working who really don't even care about sweeping. So it does concern me slightly, but I love going to the movies. I love sitting in the theater, even if I'm the only person in the theater. I love the movies on the big screen.
Yes. Yes. I love the movie experience. And I've been somebody that's been very, very careful about going out. But even I will venture out for a good movie. God knows I can use one. That's going to be the extent of my adventures. So to sit down at a movie theater and watch a movie again and not have to pay like $20 to see a movie, yes, I'm very excited about that.
And whatever's getting ready to come out of Misty's mouth, I already know.
You already know. I don't know what you're going to say. I'm going to say that for me and my growing up, movies have played a very important role in my life because when you're living through traumatic situations, the best thing to do is go and take your mind off of it. And I often went to movie theaters, sometimes double features, triple features, just because I didn't want to be where I was living at the time. And I think what Al thinks I'm going to say, or I shall say, I love AMC. We recently did a couple months ago a story that they might have been closing, and I'm super glad they're not closing. Yeah. And I am a loyal member of AMC because we get 3 free movies a week if you are one of their members, and I can't wait for them to come back.
That's right, and I did that too. Misty and I found out in doing Q News Tonight that we were both uber movie lovers. I would do 3
I'm
films
a member too, guys, so we can...
Really? Oh,
yay!
Excellent, awesome. Let's move on to I'd Swallow That question number 2. I'd swallow that. Did you know, this is really good one for power. Today is National Potato Day. From vodka to fries, I love potatoes.
Okay.
Cheers.
Who loves potatoes most? This is going to be the strangest I swallow that ever.
Yeah, I mean, I love, potato gratin. I love French fries.
Chef Josie's getting ready to whip it out.
Potato
onto the table.
Au gratin.
Yeah, I love a
mashed
baked potato soup. I love anything potato. I like crispy little potatoes on my sandwiches. I love, oh my God, potato. We could go. I like potato bread to put my hot dogs in or my burgers on.
Really important. I love my potato in Grey Goose.
Oh, and I love mashed potatoes and gravy. That is like the
Really? Mashed potatoes are so blah. You have to do something to make them great.
How dare you?
How dare me?
I love potatoes. I love all types of potatoes as well. Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Potato Head, all that type of stuff. All good for me. Yeah.
I also love potatoes, but my favorite is cheesy anything potato. Loaded potato, poutine, whatever. And I don't really like French fries, especially fast food fries, except for Checkers and I think Five Guys. They have the best fries.
You know what's funny? I have a bag of vegetables here with me at the studio right now because I was going to get hungry and because of our technical problems tonight, I haven't had a chance to do it. I have all asparagus and green beans and broccoli and carrots and everything in it. It's all pre-mixed and I put the seasoning in it and a little balsamic glaze and I love it. That's the way I eat my vegetables, but I would never consider putting a potato in. It's like, ugh, that's terrible.
Wow. Let's move. Wow. Yeah, this is probably the most irrelevant I'd swallow that question.
Happy Potato Day, everyone.
Speaking of that, let's move on to question number 3. We watched her last night at the DNC. I think AOC got better grades than Trump in college.
I'm sure he bought his grades in college.
And you don't think so, Power? You didn't take a drink?
I didn't take a drink because I don't think she got better grades than him in college. I know.
Oh, see? Right. She caught you on a technical difficulty right there.
Right.
An infraction of words.
What did y'all think about AOC's performance last night? She only got 60 seconds.
Well, that was, listen, if you really want to know what I think that was a lost opportunity. You know, AOC represents an entire voter bloc that is the new Democrat and the new voice of the next generation. And I think it was a lost opportunity.
Anybody else? AOC, did you like it? She's the rising star. Why did she get 60 seconds?
Didn't she speak before the night before on Monday night?
No,
She
last
didn't?
night.
Oh.
No, I don't think so. Last night was first time.
Some people were kind of angry at her because I understood that she didn't she did not vote for Biden, or she didn't cast her whatever for Biden, and so I saw people on social media reading her because of that.
Let's move on to question number 4. I'd swallow that. Now, we are broadcasting from the gayest place on planet Earth, Fort Lauderdale, Walton Manors, Florida. We have a rival on that mantle award that we take, and it's called WeHo, West Hollywood, California. And constantly West Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale battle themselves going, we're better, we're better, we're better, we're better in the gay community. So as a result, we ask this question, and I'd swallow that. Let's settle WeHo or Fort Lauderdale in one key area. In living in Florida, I would rather have our hurricanes than California's earthquakes.
Cheers. I'm from Alaska, and in Alaska we have not hurricanes, we have earthquakes every single day. Sometimes the state of Alaska has over 400 earthquakes in a day. And my family is often, why do you live down there with hurricanes? I'm like, with hurricanes, we get a week notice, sometimes more. A hurricane's coming, y'all. If you have to get out, get out. But earthquakes, you have no idea when they're coming.
Yeah, I mean, I stayed away from California for so long because I've been terrified of the earth opening up and just gobbling me up for dinner. And I said, forget about that idea.
I saw that movie. It was 2012.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, and until I moved to San Francisco and I experienced my first earthquake, it was kind of cool because, you know, the buildings are built like that, so they sway with the earthquake. But I'd rather have a hurricane than an earthquake.
Absolutely. Quick story.
I didn't take the shot because I've always actually wanted to experience an earthquake. I mean,
scary.
I've heard of earthquakes, but I just can't fathom. My mind can't wrap around the idea of the earth actually shaking beneath my feet. And I've always said I've wanted to experience that. I almost lost my life in a hurricane, and so for me, hurricanes are very traumatic. I would rather a hurricane than tornadoes. Hurricane Andrew in 1992.
You were right here in South Florida?
Yeah.
I was in Cutler Ridge.
Oh,
and
my.
We lost our home. I'll never forget the sound of the wind as it rushed in. You'll never forget that sound if you've ever been in the middle of a hurricane. It was a Cat 5. So that was a night that we are
I'll never forget that night, ever.
Yeah,
ever.
I would rather a hurricane than a tornado, but still.
Yeah, I was going to convince you of why you would want to take the hurricane, although, goodness, I didn't know that story.
Yeah, that's
told you real quickly. I was in Mexico City, and Mexico City had one of the largest deaths ever of a major earthquake. They have an earthquake park in downtown Mexico City, and I think like 35,000 people died in that big earthquake in the 80s or the 90s. I was in Zona Rosa at the Cristal Hotel. I was on like the 20th floor. It was near sunset. I was lying on the bed. The window was open. And all of a sudden I looked at the chandelier in front of the window, and it started to move like this, back and forth and more until it was hitting the roof on both sides, going back and forth. And I realized, because I had no idea what was going on. And then the wave hit, and it went on. And the scariest moment was hearing people. I was on the 20th floor in Mexico City, and hearing all of these people screaming, and then realizing, oh, I've got to get out. And I was with Chuck, and over the door frame of the bed of the hotel room, it completely cracked and started to separate apart.
Oh my goodness.
I never ever want to experience anything like it again. I can plan for a hurricane 3 days in advance and leave. And from then on, and after what I saw happen in Katrina, I will never stay for a hurricane ever again. So I can survive a hurricane. I cannot potentially survive an earthquake.
Super scary.
Let's continue on out of I'd Swallow That. First off, we want to remind and thank you, America, and one of our major sponsors, and that is the Best Western here in Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors at I-95. Our hosts stay there. We're going to give you, I think next week, we'll give you a little preview of what we're going to do on our 2-year anniversary and some exciting news for Power and Aaron and bringing the whole crew back together. And we stay there, and when we have guests come in, they stay there also. And we thank the Best Western. When you're ready to come to South Florida, it's a great choice for you because you can tumble right into the gayest place on planet Earth. Also, we want to tell you that Happening Out Television Network is broadcasting from our brand new set. It is a big one. We're sitting, for example, socially distanced at a 12-foot table in probably a 35-foot proscenium stage set. And when COVID is gone, we can invite 100 or so of you to join us live here at the Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale and Wilton Manors. We joke the gayest place on planet Earth. Our support, of course, is very strong with Sunshine Cathedral because we support their Sunday celebration and the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the world every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. I read their numbers last week, like 33 or 34,000 people watch their Sunday service, and we encourage you to tune in. Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church, and we want to show you a little brief summary about Sunshine, and watch this imaging. It's very unique. You're going to like this. Watch this.
Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, Minister of Connections. Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Set and our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral. We're very happy to be here. Although we're still crowning, as we said at the top of the show, the baby is still being born.
I just want to know, how did you guys get that aerial shot? Because I know It's Happening Out don't got the budget for no airplane. So
I love that you draw attention to that. It's a drone. And it was flown by the director of the show, Stephen Smith. And the drone came down, and they opened the doors, and and right through the lobby and through the doors and right into the sanctuary of the church.
Great cinematography.
It was beautiful. Yeah. How many times do you have to practice that?
He did it on the first.
Shut up.
He was scared to death, and we pushed him and pushed him.
He's brilliant.
He did a good job.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah. Woohoo! You don't see many Sunday church services open that way. I'm just saying. That's why we're really gay. That's just it. We also want to thank Concepto Modern Living here in Fort Lauderdale for the construction of this set here. And we're going to show you a lot more, probably around our anniversary. Our production team next pays attention to a lot of things that are interesting going on, especially in social media. And this segment we're going to do is called Best Thing of the Week. And we bring this to your attention. Again, none of us have seen this. And this is called Wow, You Know How to Wink. Let's watch this. Best Thing of the Week.
I'm starting something new starting today.
Like showering every day?
No, I'm becoming a winker.
If this has something to do with your anus, I don't think
I'm winking with my eyes.
Why?
Because the eyes are the window to the soul, Andrew. You should know that.
You can tell a lot about a person from their eyes.
Like, I can tell that you have a bursted blood vessel, most likely related to constipation.
Yeah, look. I'm a big smiler, and guys can't see how sweet and sensual I am with these masks on. Look. But it doesn't work, so I wink.
Okay, yeah, I see. It works.
Yeah, now you wink for me. I'll show you how aroused I get.
I can't wink.
What?
It's embarrassing.
Just try it.
I can't.
Wink, goddammit. Well, Andrew, how are you gonna let guys know that you're coy and DTF if you can't use your mouth?
That usually works. No. Did you say you to me?
Anyway, that move will never work, Andrew. Gay men have evolved. It's gonna take a lot more than muscles to get guys' attention these days. Alright, I'll let you sit here and practice your winking.
The Gay Bottom Mafia?
Gesundheit.
Well, I guess that's a new way to flirt with COVID-19 and mask and those West Hollywood boys. Does that go on in Lakeland? Is that what happens in your city parks in Lakeland, Power?
What is happening?
Girl, I will
West
say,
Hollywood, by the way.
Is that something in your eye, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah.
I will say you do not need to know how to wink if you've got muscles. That is for sure. I don't know what city you're in.
Yeah.
You take off that shirt.
Was that about winking? Because I wasn't watching that at all. Let's move on to our segment that we call What's on Your Mind. And each week I ask the host to tell us about their week of what is top of their mind. But the trick is I ask them to do it in 30 seconds. So let's do that. What's on your mind this week? And Power, let's start with you.
Insecurities. I hate my smile. Not many people know that, but I have an insecurity with my smile. 30 seconds, done.
How come?
There's no follow-up question.
Probably started when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I used to smile, and I thought that my smile was too wide and my gums showed too much. And now, when I smile, I think I show too much teeth. I don't think that.
Okay, let's put all this to the test. In all seriousness, now come on and play with me. Do a really big smile and hold it right now.
I think it's beautiful.
You have a beautiful smile. That's really interesting. It's all our perception. Interesting. I didn't know that. Chef Josie, what's on your mind this week?
So what's on my mind is once again, I've lost another friend. And so I have a friend. This one's for you, Jeff Massman, the Massman. You are the silliest man I've ever known. And for sure, the most honest, committed, hardworking, creative. I mean, the list could go on and on. So thank you for the contribution you've been in my life and in my wife's life, and for all of our friends and community who are right now grieving because of his unexpected loss. My heart is with all of you too.
And we wish the best for you, Chef Josie. And Misty Eyes, what's on your mind this week?
Real quick to Power, when I had my facial feminization consultation, one of the things I want to do is shorten my upper lip so that I show more teeth. I'm very jealous of your smile. What's on my mind is this election. We had the primary, now the general. I'm so impressed with how many people of color have made the ballot. I'm so impressed with how many LGBTQ people have made the ballot. And I think a lot of people are taking this very personal. I had somebody that I'm not even really friends with that much on Facebook message me a picture of Joe Biden from 1977 saying something anti-black. And I don't remember the exact quote. I don't want to quote it on this show. But I replied and said, why on earth are you sharing that to me? And he's like, I wanted you to see it before it gets removed. I'm like, you know, that was 40 plus years ago. Of course he's changed his mind. And I think that we need to realize that sometimes our loved ones don't agree with us, and it's okay to love them and totally not agree with them
You
at
know,
all.
it's really an interesting observation, Misty, because you could show Barack Obama in the 1990s and he would be anti-LGBT marriage.
Yeah. Yeah, you're allowed to
Can't
evolve.
footprint time and say that's who you are forever. That's not the way it
My
works.
answer was very long, and I'm not going to repeat it, but it has to do with systemic racism in this country, and of course he was racist, and of course blah, 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 blah.
Right. So that's what's on our host's mind this week. Let's move on to a little bit of celebrity and talk about what is going on in Hollywood and celebrity hot topics. We want to report on something that we thought was interesting at It's Happening Out, in reporting that a new musical based on the life of, I love it, Princess Diana is coming to Broadway next year, assuming everything is going to be A-OK after coronavirus. But it's an interesting project, and we have something to show you. Watch this.
Diana, a true musical story, counts on the believability of the lead character as played by Gina DeWall.
The audience is going to learn pretty much the whole story in a new way, take the audience down that route, and so they completely buy into the fact that, you know, you are that character.
To be underestimated.
Here she takes her bow with David Bryan of Bon Jovi fame, who wrote the songs.
The legacy of what she did impacted then and impacts now.
Joe DiPietro did the book and lyrics, and when he teamed up with Bryan before, they won a Tony for the musical Memphis. Actor Roe Hartrumpf plays Charles.
I've approached this with a lot of empathy for him because he's a person who's stuck in a really unique situation.
More than 20 years after Diana's death, fascination endures.
Well, this is really interesting because it's an unprecedented move for the entertainment industry, which is dealing with coronavirus restrictions. A filmed version of the musical has been done featuring the original Broadway cast. It will be made without an audience in New York. Then Netflix hasn't given a date yet, but they are going to stream it on their site before the Broadway show even starts. Interesting, a new concept here. Post-COVID world. What do y'all think about Princess Diana coming to Netflix, but really coming to Broadway?
I'm super excited about this. I love Broadway musicals. I love the theater, darling. I love it. I think they're doing it backwards, but I'm all for it. This is adjusting to the new today. I don't want to say the new normal. I don't want this to be the new normal, but I think that they are doing this great. I'm glad they're not charging us an arm and a leg and like, oh, well, you want to see Mulan? Well, you have to pay an extra $30 instead of going to the movie theater. I think that it's awesome, and I do hope that we as fans still support them in New York when it does open on Broadway.
No, well, and that was going to be my thing. I was going to say, you know, this is a little bit of a risk because, you know, they're doing it in reverse. And I wonder if it's going to stop people from seeing it live because they're able to see it, you know, on Netflix. So that should be an interesting experiment.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really interesting in the sense that, I mean, I like musicals. I lived in New York for a long time. I had a club membership to see musicals anytime I wanted. But this subject matter seems, I don't really see how they're going to have this translate into onto stage. And then, you know, I mean, I can feel it like if it was, you know, like a Moulin Rouge kind of experience to it. I just have to see how they do it. I know we're in this post-COVID moment, but I don't know. I'm skeptical, guys.
You know, interesting. I want to ask Power his reaction, your observation, and probably many people have that observation in terms of whether they are willing to continue to see it live. I'm curious. You could do a set, not that you would. I know you wouldn't, but you could do a set, and you could do it from home, and you could have a Saturday night of a couple of hours spinning. Because you did that and you did that regularly, would that mean that people wouldn't come and see you in gigs when you can come out again? Would you want to see Power live, or is digital enough?
Well, this is precisely why I actually don't do virtual sets, because I need to be in that live environment.
The atmosphere.
I think that people prefer to be in a live environment when it comes to club and when it comes to DJ. I think, however, it's different when it comes to movies and shows. I mean, if they do it right and it appears on Netflix, it's supposed to look so produced and so fabulous that you're not really going to be able to miss the fact that you're not seeing it live. You're going to be surrounded and immersed in that digital experience. You really can't really get immersed in a digital experience when somebody's spinning from their home as opposed to in a club. There's no comparison.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right. Well, we're also now going to move into some of the headlines this week that are important to the LGBTQ community. These are topics in the news of the week and other headlines. We're going to give them 60 to 90 seconds on each of the topics, and I ask all of us to respect that timing so we can cover a number of things before we move on. Story number one this week: 1 in every 10 gamers are in LGBTQ, according to a new study. And the study reports, just for everyone's benefit, that LGBTQ game players outproduce their counterparts, not only in percentage of players, but the amount of money that they spend on it. What do y'all think?
I'm not surprised by this at all. I think 1 out of 10 is a normal statistic. But what I did find interesting was that the LGBT community bought more games and spent more money. And I also found very interesting that they played the games that were in alternate reality. They could be in a different scenario and escape their own trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I like games. We have game night. I haven't moved into the virtual or the electronic. I mean, I was an old gamer, old time, but I haven't moved into all these new game systems because I don't think I can really even work the controller. But my little nephew keeps me up to date. And I know a lot of folks in our community who are gamers. So
well, let's turn to the absolute world-class LGBT gaming expert on this planet. Power, what do you think?
You're talking about another Power. But my question is, and maybe Josie and Misty can answer this. Do you find that there's different games that we in our community play as opposed to straight people? Like, do the gay children get into the shoot 'em up, bang 'em up type games that like other gamers get into, or is it the same thing?
I think it's more role-playing games.
Yeah, like the Pokemons and the
I continue
Dance
to
Party
read,
USA.
It's identity games. The LGBT community really identifies with identity games as opposed to the shoot 'em up.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Story topic headline this week too, of course. Major story this week. Trump lets it slip. He is blocking United States Postal Service funding to stop mail-in voting. The Postmaster General has had a retraction, but he's going to speak in front of the Senate on Friday, but the full House hearing on Monday. What do y'all think?
First of all, the U.S. Postal Service has actually hired a PR firm now to breaking news. They've hired a PR firm now to try to ease everybody's fears and concerns about mailing and voting. Trump has really made them look bad. Of course, we expect this from Trump. We expect any underhanded, low-down, good-for-nothing, rigged attempt, yet another, to avert and suppress votes, and that's what we can come to expect from this reptile of ill repute.
Right.
Retweet.
Anything you want to add?
Ding.
Just very quickly, I love the PR. I haven't heard the PR thing. That's
brilliant.
How ridiculous that our Postal Service, they're the most respected government arm. Of all of the agencies, they have the highest satisfaction and approval rating of every organization of the United States government. Like 81% of all Americans approve of the post office. So there's only one reason they need PR, and that's because Donald Trump has gotten into it. And also interesting, I have a friend that works at NBC, and he told me this week that before this last week. NBC never had coverage of having somebody that regularly covered the beat of the post office, and now they have a reporter that covers the post office.
Well, you know, one more thing though, you know, I would like to invite all of our viewers to make sure that when you see your postman or postwoman, postperson come up to your door to deliver your mail, wish them a good day and say thank you for doing what they do. You know, they deliver your mail, whether it's rain, snow, sleet, hail, fire, you name it.
Brilliant.
Fire! Your house is on fire, but here's your mail.
This week, in a Trump world, who would have ever thought of this? In a Trump world, we find out that our postmen or postwomen are frontline. They're our front line to democracy. They are our front lines. Let's move on to another big story this week. Have you heard? Kamala Harris has been selected as the vice presidential candidate for Joe Biden. But equally important, we have watched the most pro-LGBT platform at the DNC in history, and that goes to the core root. Kamala Harris picks out lesbian Karine Jean-Pierre as her chief of staff. Hold breath. What do y'all think?
You guys know what I think, okay? When we're talking, first off, you know, we've been on the back burner or behind the scenes, the lesbian community for a long time. And, you know, there's that saying that behind every good man is a powerful woman. Well, really, the reality is that behind everyone is powerful women. And now you're seeing it. You know, the lesbians are stepping up. We're visible. We're showing our faces. And we're proud. And we're proud of we're comfortable in our skin. And people are recognizing the work that we've done, the type of advocates we have been, the type of activists we've been, and the just boldness we've displayed through the years.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I would just like to point out that the clip that we're watching right now is somebody bum rushing Kamala's stage, and the first pitch that got up was our girl.
That's funny. That's good. I've watched this a dozen times, and it didn't dawn on me the way you just said it. Let's continue to move on. Big headlines this week. Let's talk a little gay culture. And when you want to talk about gay culture, of course, you always go to Arkansas because it's the heart of America's gay culture.
Okay.
This week, a gay man was denied. Do you have a sarcasm meter, by the way, at your house in Lakeland? Because I'm going to be sending you one. A gay man is denied entry to an Arkansas casino because he was carrying a purse. There's the picture. What do y'all think about our LGBT friend here and his purse and the casino that denied his entry?
Well, for me, I hang out in casinos because I play.
Is that because
poker.
you're Asian?
No, it's because I play poker, no limit hold'em poker, and on the machine floor, the slot machine floor, you usually can't have a bag with you because there's some scams, I guess, going on. I don't know because I'm not a scammer, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
But if that was the intention behind it, then I understand. But maybe they needed to just ask him to put the bag in his car. So I don't know. It smells fishy around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's fishy too. I will say though, back to Arkansas being the heart of the gay America, I did live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I started drag in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I have performed in bars in Arkansas, and Arkansas takes your ID and scans it. They have a permanent record of every person that has ever entered a gay bar in the state of Arkansas, and that is scary.
Am I the only person that thinks it's funny to string together words of performed drag in Arkansas? I think those words are very funny.
But you know how you go to the bar and check it out before you do the show? You want to see if they like slow or fast or whatever? Girl, they had my ID, wrote it all down. I had to sign. I was like, ooh. It was scary. 90s.
All right. The last story that we want to do tonight, as America knows, I'm contractually obligated to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, Lord.
Every single opportunity. And it makes our executive producer, who is sitting in Lakeland, Florida, so happy when I do it. So I have a unique story tonight about RuPaul's Drag Race because I've got to try to get a little more creative. Right? So the headline this week is about Drag Race having its first big boy hunk in the pit crew, and he's redefining gay beauty standards. What do you think about having a guy like this? We were just watching the mask video from WeHo. This is from Canada's Drag Race. By the way, Power, I don't know if you know, but before this is all done, there's going to be 73 versions of RuPaul's Drag Race all over the world. And we're going to be talking about it almost 24 hours a day.
Oh my God.
The pit crew boy here, what do you think?
I think he's barely plus size.
Wait, I'm sorry, Power.
No, go ahead, Misty.
I don't mind going last.
Okay. Well, first of all, good on them for doing this. But let's just be clear: they haven't redefined gay beauty standards. Let's not give them all that much credit. Recently there was an ad that came out, a calendar that came out celebrating big, beautiful men. The popularity of the Bearstein has really helped to redefine gay beauty standards. Every time RuPaul do something, oh, she's redefining. She ain't redefining nothing. And I'm so sick and tired of talking about motherfucking.
Oh no! Let me take my earrings. Oh no!
It's happening now. She must be breaking us off something, man. I know Josie, Misty, and Aaron and I ain't getting part of it. So what?
That part. Al, you cash those checks.
The entire evening is worth just getting him like he is right now.
Don't take the bait. Don't take the
I've
bait. No, but it's true.
Yeah, she's right. She said part of what I was going to say. I agree 100%. A, it's in Canada, not California. B, RuPaul is probably not the MC or hostess of Canada Drag Race. And C, this little boy is barely plus size. He's barely a 1XL. So they're like, oh, look, big boys. First of all, you could have done way bigger.
And just as the lesbian at the table, I love big boys.
But he's cute and good for you, Canada.
All right, RuPaul.
Is she the MC of Canada? No, right?
RuPaul.
All right. I'm like, RuPaul.
Let's play another game. And we're going to play Shag, Marry, Chop. Now, you know how this works. This game, it asks the host who and why and what. And we're going to look at 3 different people and discuss what we like, because apparently that boy wasn't plus size enough for us. So
he was Hollywood plus size.
Shag, Marry, Chop. And this week we're getting naked for charity.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to talk about Broadway Bears. They had their fundraising. It was called the Fuck Hate event. And we are going to begin with Broadway Bears as one of their choices. These are groups of people. Every once in a while, we want to get into groups. And,
okay.
I haven't been in a group in a minute.
And and Broadway Bears is our first. A second group is called Fuck Hate. Oh, that boy is. And let's get a little athletic. The Warwickshire University rowing team in the United Kingdom. And they're out at Warwickshire. So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. And Power, since you're
no wrong answers on this.
Remote.
Nope.
Oh, and by the way, before you start, I understand, I read a little, I was at the post office in Wilton Manors, and for like 6 weeks, your picture has been up on the board of most wanted, being in jail. And I went in today and it was taken down. Is that true? You're no longer in jail?
Well, Misty sent me a nail file and I broke out. So.
You're welcome. I got you.
Power Infinity America is no longer in Facebook jail. How long are you going to go this time, do you think, before you commit a crime?
I'm going to try to at least stay out of Facebook jail until the election so I can let my voice.
America? Wait. You remember the infamous bet that I had with Joe Brookman about the midterm elections that he reneged on and never paid? You remember that bet, everybody? Let's have a little bet right now. Between now, we got about 78 days, 79 days, something like that, between now and November 3rd. Let's bet the best restaurant in South Florida after November 3rd that you are going to be in Facebook jail again. We can prove
Before
it.
November 3rd?
Before November 3rd. I'm betting you're going to be. You want to take me up on that bet?
I will take you up on that bet, and that is actually going to be my goal for staying out of Facebook jail.
To punish me with the best dinner you can find in
What's
South Florida.
the best restaurant in South Florida?
I'm going to give updates every single
Whatever
week
he
now.
wants.
On
That's
It's
right.
Happening Out and Gay Town Hall. And I can't wait.
He's going to be pitting you.
I can't wait. All right, let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. Your choices there, sir, are... Who are you shagging?
Well, like Misty said, you can't go wrong with this one because actually, to me, they are all three of them pictures look the same. So
Wait,
They do.
They're just all white boys. Is that what you said?
All look the same, so ain't nobody feeling hurt. So let me just go with I will actually shag, fuck, hate. I will shag, fuck, hate all of them.
All of them.
I will marry the what is
Warwickshire University
That's
rowing
right.
team. They're an out team.
And that's right. And I figure if I've shagged and married the Warwickshire University team, I've had Broadway beers because they all look the same anyway. So
Yeah. All right. And Josie, who would you shag here?
Wow, I think I'm going to be following in the footsteps of my Brister Power Infinity because I think I'm going to go ahead and shag, fuck, hate. They look like the ones with the most sex appeal, quite frankly.
Oh my, they
And
just yummy.
I'm going to marry I want to marry sorry guys, I'm going to marry the Bears, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Because look at how much fun they're having. That would just be like a blast all the time.
For the athlete.
Yeah, and then I've
Josie's
had
a
plenty of
football player.
Yeah, I've
Female
had plenty of
professional.
athletes in my life. So I'll let you guys chop this time.
Okay, all right. And Misty, who are you shagging?
Now, literally, you really can't go wrong with this one. So I'm going to marry.
Wait. I want to change it completely. Let's
change it on me.
right now.
Okay,
We're
go ahead.
changing the game for Misty. Your husband's sitting at home watching right now. He is going to say,
He always
going
does.
to shag who? Who is he going to say? Tell us.
Oh, he knows my type, but
no, who's he's choosing? Who's he choosing you would shag? Who does he want you to shag?
there's too many men flashing across the screen for him to even be paying
know, it's like-
attention. I don't know. He might think Broadway Bears.
Broadway Bears, he's going for that. And who does he say you're going to marry?
The rowing team, maybe?
The Warwickshire University rowing team, he's going to say you're going to marry. And why would he say you're going to marry them?
Well, he knows I like dark skin, and he knows I like dark hair and dark eyes, and he knows I like beards, and not beards, but facial hair.
Okay, all
And
right.
Those are the only ones I saw with.
And
facial
clearly, he's making a terrible mistake being a straight man because fuck hate has by far and away the most beautiful men in this game tonight. Why would he say you're going to chop them?
I don't know. Like he doesn't look at guys. I don't know. But I'm sitting way over here looking at sideways and crooked. So they all look hot to me on all of them. I really can't say no. And I was just trying to. Every week I would have to twin with somebody.
Yeah, not this
And
week.
this
because
week
your
I'm being
husband
very
got to
opposite.
play. Thank you,
John.
No, I knew John got to play Shag, Marry, Chop this week.
He does pick on me for all my answers though when he watches.
All right. Well, we want to remind you tomorrow night, there's a lot going on with Roger Stone, and we snagged an exclusive interview. And right in the middle of it, we found out that there's a lot of stuff going on in the U.S. Senate, and it contradicted a lot of what we did in the interview, and there's lots of stuff going on in Roger Stone. Big days ahead. We have already done part 1 and part 2 this week at Q News Tonight. Tomorrow night at 7, we're going to do part 3. And you're going to learn some incredible things about Roger Stone and WikiLeaks and the president's private phone call of what he wanted after commutation. And we're also get into an extensive conversation about Roger Stone's sexuality, including his participation in prides and the gay community. It's very interesting, and so we invite you to tune in tomorrow night for that. So we're at the end of the show, and before we end, of course, that always means that we are looking at some pizza with Jet's Pizza.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes Jet's,
Oh, the calzone.
wait, there we go, thank you. Does this really cool sandwich.
It's a calzone, right?
I think I'm going to snag this one tonight. And we invite you, if you're in South Florida, and they're around the country, Jet's Pizza, they do a great job. We love it. It's a highlight. And a nice, very nice, loyal sponsor to It's Happening Out. So let's say goodnight to tonight. And before we say goodnight, America, let's give our host an opportunity. And Power, let's start with you.
Good night.
Okay. And Chef Josie, we'll give you an opportunity.
Hey guys, just take a deep breath in and smell the breath, the new hope that is stirring in the air right now. Times are going, we're going to get through this. Times are getting better every second. And, just stay focused. Stay focused on what's working and stay grateful for all the challenges. Until next week, stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, and I'll see you later.
And my friend Misty Eyes.
Thank you guys for watching so much, and we truly appreciate you, all of our allies, as well as the LGBTQ community. And make sure you're registered to vote and get out there and let your voice be heard.
And my friend Aaron Phoenix.
Good night.
Well said.
Well, America, we thank you. Aaron, we're sorry that we had the technical problems. America, I'm not kidding. Literally, we're crowning here tonight. We have this amazing new space that we're at Sunshine Cathedral. You're going to be able to see some amazing things. We're getting ready to conclude our second year of broadcasting It's Happening Out. We've become the most popular live LGBT television show in the world, and we are going to be able to kick it up a notch in year 3 here at Sunshine. And we'll tell you and show you a lot of things here, but some implementation transition that we'll continue to work on that'll make the show great. So remember, we're in perilous times. I'm so excited. We need Power's voice to help defeat the president, but unfortunately he's not going to have one because he's getting ready to lose a bet to go back into Facebook jail. And I'm going to have the best dinner in South Florida. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Power's friends. You're going to love what you get ready to watch. So remember, America, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America. Well, hello, America. It's Al Ferguson with the Happening Out Television Network, and we have a very special interview for you today, and that is with Roger Stone. Now, an interesting interview, I think, we're going to have with the LGBT community. Roger Stone is celebrating his 5th decade in politics. Some call him notorious. He has created a substantial impact, not only on conservative politics in America, but the country as a whole. Mr. Stone, thank you for being with us here today.
Delighted to be here.
Can I call you Roger?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, that's great.
Makes me feel younger.
Yes. Okay, good. Oh, it's one of the things we're going to talk about. You are first and foremost interesting to me because of all of your brand marketing. You seem to me to be very ahead of the curve. Your Free Roger Stone movement and your Republican fingers as you hold them up. You have worked with the presidents in either campaigns or advising, including Nixon, Reagan, Dole, Trump. That's a pretty impressive resume in conservative politics.
Absolutely. I mean, I have had the luxury of supporting men and women for public office that I believed in. Early in my practice, I had to take anybody who walked in the door. I mean, political consulting is a very, very competitive business. It's become more and more competitive as more and more people who have no qualifications whatsoever have joined the field because it looks easy from the outside. But I've had the luxury of helping support men and women whose fundamental beliefs I believed in.
Well, we're going to talk about a number of those situations. A lot of people in the LGBTQ community probably do not know that your lobbying organization in Washington was with Paul Manafort, and one of the most successful in history. What was that experience like, working with Paul Manafort?
Well, after the 1980 Reagan election, Charlie Black and Paul Manafort and I all confronted the question of whether we wanted to go into government or whether we wanted to stay in private practice. I had no interest in being in government because I had, for a very brief time, worked at the Office of Economic Opportunity under Don Rumsfeld. Rumsfeld was one of the many protégés of Richard Nixon. Nixon was a great believer in developing a bench. He had a number of young protégés who he helped get elected to Congress or the Senate, or he, in some cases, appointed to office, which really became the future of the party. Rumsfeld was among them. I'm not a fan of Rumsfeld's war policies, but that's another story. In any event, Don Rumsfeld was sent over to the Office of Economic Opportunity, and I was sent over with him. I think I lasted 6 months. I'm not interested in the paperwork and the minutiae of government. My interest is in the mechanics of politics and how to use the mechanics of politics to elect men and women to offices where they can effectuate public policies that I agree with.
Let me make the connection to your classic Nixon pose with your two arms up and the fingers. So your loyalty, respect, the reiteration of that image is because Nixon taught the training of develop a bench and then be loyal to the bench.
Well, that's part of it, but let's cut to the chase.
Okay.
As you know, I have a tattoo of Richard Nixon on my
I'm
back.
getting ready to ask you about it. We're going to put that up right now because the LGBT community is going to be shocked and fascinated.
Well, first of all, it makes me the only person you know with a dick on the front and the back. But the point of this is not even a political statement. It really isn't. The point of this is, for me, a daily reminder that in life, when things don't go your way, when you get knocked down, when you suffer defeats, when you're discouraged, when you want to quit, when you think you're finished, that's the time you have to get up off the canvas and get back in the game. And the story of Nixon, regardless of his politics, and his politics would be considered quite progressive by today's standards, is a story of resilience. It's a story of persistence. It's really very much an American story. So if you ask me which president I philosophically and ideologically most aligned with, it wouldn't be Nixon. It would probably be Reagan, or maybe even Eisenhower. But what I admire about Nixon is his personal resilience, that he comes back from defeat, and after defeat, this is someone who was given nothing. This is someone who grew up dirt poor, put himself through college, put himself through law school, took on an improbable House race where everyone said he couldn't win, spent only 4 years in the House. Recognize he went from being a lieutenant mustered out of the U.S. Navy to being Vice President of the United States in 6 years. 4 years in the House, 2 years in the Senate, onto the national ticket, and then on 6 national tickets. It's an incredible accomplishment.
It's interesting to me, you talk about resilience. What's your reaction when I say the LGBT community understands that conceptual observation completely, because our entire community is built on the resilience to remind yourself that you have to stand up over and over and over again?
Yeah, I think it is. It's a lesson for everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. The point, of course, is never quitting.
Never quit.
Nixon, I think, said, "A man is not finished when he's defeated. He is only finished when he quits." Until one has been in the deepest valley, one cannot appreciate the majesty of the highest mountaintop. This is certainly true in my own career. I've had highs and lows. I've had victories and defeats. The key point is to never quit, to keep pursuing your goal, whatever that may be.
Before we move on to, and I do want to talk a lot about the LGBT community and your embracement of it. But in this vein about having the tattoo on your back and between your shoulder blades. I love the sound bite. You're the only man that I've ever met that has dicks both in the front and the back.
Works at the dinners, I must tell you.
The
blue-haired Republican ladies kind of blush, but it's a crowd stopper.
I read and I saw an image of it recently, or relatively recently. You got a second tattoo on your back.
No, that's untrue.
That is not true.
That is
okay.
not true.
So let's debunk it right now.
I have thought about adding Barry Goldwater, who really is the person who got me into politics, because he believed in individual personal freedom. The smallest, least intrusive government is possible. Government out of the boardroom, out of the bedroom. Do what you want. That's your right as an American. He hated surveillance by the government. He hated the whole concept of the erosion of our civil liberties. Reagan, because of his strength as president, rebuilding our economy, rebuilding respect for the country around the world. Nixon, who's already there, reached a strategic arms limitation agreement with the Soviets, opened the door to China. I think he'd be rolling in his grave if he knew how the Bushes and the Clintons were going to give the Chinese the key to the store. That's a different question. Ended the Vietnam War, ended the military draft for 18-year-olds, gave us the 18-year-old vote, desegregated the public schools without incident. When he became president, 82% of the American schools were still segregated. By the time he left, it was like in the 20s. The saving of Israel unilaterally in the 1973 Yom Kippur War over the objection of his own chief of staff, of his own joint chiefs, of his own national security advisor, Henry Kissinger, against all advice, he ships $37 million worth of lethal aid to the Israelis, who have their backs against the sea due to a surprise attack by the Egyptians and the Syrians. The war on cancer. His accomplishments really go on. And then of course, you have Trump, who rebuilt our economy when everybody said it couldn't be done. People said, well, America's great days are behind you. You can no longer be a leader. These jobs are never coming back, and so on. So I would consider having a Mount Rushmore type effect on my back with all of them, except for it would hurt like hell.
Yeah, and who would it be?
It would be Goldwater, Reagan, and Trump. I would add them to Richard Nixon.
Yeah, so your tattoo, you would turn into Mount Rushmore between your shoulders.
That's the idea, but boy, it would take a quart of vodka.
Yes, a quart. All right. Well, also a very good LGBT embracement. I want to ask you specifically, before we move on to some other issues, you have the self-proclaimed title of the Dirty Trickster. Is that true?
Yeah, no, actually, I argue with that. I've never called myself that.
Oh, it did not come out of your mouth?
No, and
okay.
I actually got the LA Times to print a retraction because I got sick of it. It is ubiquitous. You can read every place in the last year, self-proclaimed or self-attributed. I have attributed that others have called me that, and therefore I'm stuck with it. It's going to be in my obituary. It's going to be on my tombstone. There's not much I can do about it. I will certainly admit to being a practitioner of hardball politics. This is America. Politics has always been hardball. Abraham Lincoln's opponents handed out flyers, a handbill, saying that he had fathered a multiracial child. We had one of our early presidents was reputed to be gay. They called him Nancy, and they handed out flyers about that.
So, which president?
I think it was not Franklin Pierce, but Millard Fillmore. I'm uncertain.
Yeah.
I can look it up, but it's an accurate reference. The point is, all that's changed is the method of delivery. We used to use handbills, now we use the internet. Now, that said, I don't think I've ever done anything that my contemporaries haven't done, and I'm prepared to do whatever's necessary to elect my candidate short of breaking the law. Now, one man's dirty trick is another man's civic participation. One man's dirty trickster is another man's freedom fighter. In 1960, Robert Kennedy, somebody I admire, whose son I particularly admire, and is a friend of mine, in the 1960 West Virginia primary, sends anti-Catholic literature to every Catholic household in the state and makes it look like it came from Hubert Humphrey, their opponent. And the liberals think this is clever. How clever of them. If a Republican did that, or if I did that, oh, what a heinous dirty trick. By the way, that was not illegal in 1960. It would be illegal today. So dirty tricks are even in the eye of the beholder.
All right, so you didn't say it, it was applied on you. You got a retraction from it. I wasn't sure about that.
I'm stuck with it, whether I like it or not.
I'm going to come back to the common ground observation you made later in the interview. I want to talk about your books. I didn't realize what a prolific author you are and writing. How many books have you written?
I've written 5 books.
5.
Soon to be 6.
Okay. Oh, what's the book that's in the works now?
This entire ordeal that I've been through has to be laid out because, incredibly, I was for 16 months under an unconstitutional gag order. So you're not allowed to defend yourself.
Are you not still?
Today the gag order is removed.
Okay.
But for 16 months, CNN and MSNBC and the Washington Post particularly, which is dominant within the jurisdiction in which I was being tried, are literally raining shit on me on a daily basis, at least 80% of which is just incorrect, or their greatest trick, they omit key facts to create a false impression, yet the judge rules I am not entitled to respond to any of that and defend myself within the realm of any platform whatsoever. Not to a public meeting, not on a TV show, not on an interview with gay TV, not on the internet, not on social media. Clearly unconstitutional. When I appealed that ruling, it went to the DC Circuit Court of Appeals. They sat on it for 5 months, even though it was a very simple question. And then they ruled procedurally I had to first ask the judge who imposed the gag order to remove it before it was appropriate for review by the circuit, which they could have ruled 2 days after I filed.
And your book,
by then it was trial time.
Your book is going to outline all of this process of exactly what happened.
It's going to outline the entire process of being hunted for political reasons by the federal government. Because what happened to me, where you lose your voice, you lose your freedom of movement, you lose your home, your car, your insurance. Because of the gags, your ability to make a living, that can happen to any. If it can happen to me, it can happen to any American with the blink of an eye.
I want to mention later in the interview Mueller and some of the Attorney General's comment at the House Judiciary Committee, but broadly, first off, do you have a title for the book yet?
I do not. Working title would be a MAGA Martyr. But I'm still open to suggestions.
Yeah, and publishing date approximately?
After the election.
Yeah, definitely after the election. And it's interesting in terms of what you brought up in terms of the removal of the gag order. We're broadcasting right now this interview from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We joke in our shows that we're broadcasting in the gayest place on planet Earth. South Florida has one of the highest LGBT density populations in the United States. The pressure of when the federal government came in for the arrest, etc. When I watched that, and I watched CNN covering it live, and how they knew it was happening, unclear. But I watched
not really. We can get into that.
Yeah, well, let's do that. And I watched it. But my number one thing was, what was your reaction? Why all of that was going on? How did you feel? You're this libertarian, and what you've just outlined that you say you're going to explore in the book.
I think it requires some background. So for almost 2 years, there was a drumbeat of leaks from the special counsel's office. Roger Stone will be indicted for treason, espionage, conspiracy against the United States, money laundering of millions of rubles into US dollars in violation of the foreign campaign contributions ban, mail fraud, wire fraud, cyber crimes including unauthorized access to a computer, cyber crimes including the receipt and dissemination of stolen data, aiding and abetting a conspiracy, accessory to a conspiracy after the fact. Just a constant. Robert Mueller now has Roger Stone's IRS and banking records. How else could CNN know that but from a leak? Leaks are illegal from the special counsel. So I had to endure 2 years of this. And I counterpunched as best I could, because I certainly know there was no Russian collusion. I knew that I had never received anything from WikiLeaks and passed it on, and that I had no advanced knowledge of the source or content of what they were going to publish. I only knew that they were going to publish something in October that was significant because Julian Assange said on CNN in June that he would do so. It's not a state secret. So it was perplexing because I was clearly cognizant of the fact that 19 of my current and former associates had been dragged in front of the grand jury and browbeat, and this fellow Aaron Zelinsky, who I will file multiple complaints about because of his misconduct as a prosecutor, was kind of like Captain Ahab with the whale. In other words, where are the WikiLeaks documents? We know he has them. We know he's hiding them. Well, it's just not true. And despite this legal proctological examination that they gave me, poking into every corner of my life, they could find no evidence of any of those crimes whatsoever. So I still felt that I would be charged, but I couldn't figure out what it was that I could be charged with, because I knew I was guilty of none of those crimes. By the end of 2018, this became a weekly drumbeat. Mueller zeroes in on Stone. Mueller tightens the noose on Stone. Mueller totally focused on Stone. And then on January 25th, on January 24th, I got a phone call from a producer at CNN who said, I need your home address. I want to mail you something. I said, all right. Well, I gave her my home address, realizing that my home address could be found online fairly easily. But then when I went online and looked, I noticed that there were 2 addresses since I had fairly recently moved, and that may have caused some confusion. So I said to my wife, they're coming tomorrow morning to arrest me. And she said, you've been saying that for 6 months. I said, no, I'm pretty sure this is tomorrow. Still can't figure out what the charges might be, but I do think we need to be prepared. So I set my alarm for 5 a.m. I got up, I took a shower, I put on one of my Roger Stone Did Nothing Wrong t-shirts, and I sat in an upstairs bathroom window where you could see the entire front yard. At about 5:45, my cell phone rang. It was a member of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department who just happens to be a friend, and he said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm kind of waiting. Why? He said, well, I'm over at Starbucks. And there must be 30 FBI agents here getting coffee, and the drift I get is they're headed to your house. And I said, well, I've been expecting them.